So, alright, we're called GAP, because Guild Against Poverty, and we're from La Paz, Bolivia. And what?
My name is Martina Munoz.
Alejandro Prado.
And Rafael Santos. And so we are a group of students from the ACS GIN in La Paz, and our principle is that we want to create awareness in our community about poverty and the effects of poverty, La Paz, and how it creates issues about health, and like how to help educate people how they can end poverty. Thank you guys for helping us with work. Alright, so we're excited we're living this poverty from La Paz, Bolivia. Okay, oh yeah, sorry. And there were two other people in our group who were not able to come to the conference. So who are we? I said that we're the GAP, we're against poverty, and our objective is to create awareness about poverty, and how to end it, especially in La Paz and in the world. That's a big issue. And this is our essential question that I want you guys to think about throughout our presentation, and hopefully when you guys leave our workshop, you'll be able to answer it, which is what can reduce poverty? That's the video, right? Okay, so we have a video for you guys that we did for a contest, which is the worth of 7 billion. It's a contest for students worldwide. And we did a video about poverty that you guys enjoyed.
If we win this award, we get $1 billion, and all of that money would go to our main project. That's a charity in Bolivia.
1,000.
1,000.
Oh, sorry, there's supposed to be sound in the video.
Fixing it.
Llamada Tech.
Necesito algo de tech, por favor. Room 7.
Mira.
Alright, so this is our definition of poverty, because I'll explain to you guys. So we think that poverty is when there's a lack of basic needs such as water, food, shelter, education, information. And poverty is not only involved on income, but also how a person is able to reach out for objects. So for example, it's not only if you're rich that you're not poor, but if you're poor, it doesn't really mean that you're also poor. Like if you cannot have access to information or to water or to food, it's going to mean that you're also poor. So because you don't have that access to information and to basic needs. So some facts about poverty. So first, around half of the world is in poverty, meaning that people live in less than $2.50 a day. And 1/7 of the world, meaning 1.3 billion people in the world are in extreme poverty, which means that they live in less than $1 a day. And 870 million people in the world don't have enough food to eat, so they're starving. Yep. And there are more than 9 million people in the world under the age of 5 who die each year, especially like due to starvation. And also around 130 million people in the world between ages 15 and 20 years old came into the 21st century. They don't know how to read, they're illiterate, and that is really high number, especially in the world. This shows that it's a worldwide problem, not only in our country, Bolivia, but in other places too.
Okay, now poverty in Bolivia. First of all, does anybody know where Bolivia is located?
Everybody, right? Hopefully.
Yeah, okay. Bolivia is an oil-known country, and it is located in the heart of South America. Now here are some facts about Bolivia. 24% of Bolivian population live in extreme poverty. This means that they live in less than $1.25 a day. More than half of the population, 59%, live in poverty, less than $250 a day. Bolivia is one of the poorest countries in Latin America, and 8% of its population is unemployed. They don't have any type of jobs. Although this seems so little, many other people have jobs, but they earn so little money that they can't maintain themselves or their family. Bolivia has the 7th highest income inequality in the world. Income inequality means that there's a big difference between the poorest in Bolivia and the wealthiest. There's like a big hole. Then many Bolivians have limited access to healthcare and adequate sanitation, especially indigenous people. And a quarter of Bolivian children, 25%, under the age of 5, suffer from stunting. Stunting is a physical developmental problem. For example, a 10-year-old boy is supposed to be about this tall, but if that boy is suffering from stunting, they're like really small, they're like this, or yeah, so that is stunting. Then education disparities between men, women, rural, urban, indigenous, non-indigenous, low economic status, and middle economic status differ a lot. For example, a male that is from the country that is not indigenous and that has a middle economic status can have up to 14 years of school time, which is education. Then instead, a female, which doesn't live in the city and is in a low economic status, like it's indigenous, has 0 years of school. So there's like a 14-year difference. Okay. However, we are already helping. So at this point, we've already visited 5 different communities. And here are 2 first, Colegios de Bolivia. Here we went there to educate people, and we had some fun activities and other things. Here we established an ongoing relationship with them. We already went there twice, and we encouraged them to continue studying and going to school and all those things. Then we went to Comedor San Calixto. In Comedor San Calixto, we helped the staff make the food and serve it, and that. Then we had the Christmas drive. We did a drive in which each class, each grade from our school had a family. They had to get clothes and other basic needs such as food, rice, and other things for the family. And then we had to get those things and put them in this red bag and give them to the families. For this, we also had a lot of help from Hope Worldwide, which is an organization that works on this problem student village. Then we had the Christmas fair. In the Christmas fair, we had a table with many different facts about Bolivia. And then in this fair, we did it to educate people about the issue and to raise awareness. And we also raised some money for a charity for our projects.
Okay, we chose to talk more about Jardín Máximo. That's another community we visited and helped. We chose it because it was really shocking about the reality we have seen. Like here you can see a 6-year-old girl taking care of the month of the little sister, and how like here, this is the oldest one. He has 11 years old, and he has five siblings. So he has to take care of them. And this organization started by one man. It was really inspiring in a place that there were like, it was illegal at first because there's no papers like to, you build a house and then the next day someone comes and it gets like put it apart and build another house. They decided to make this place to kids so that they can be at the streets, being with bad influences like gangs and being around bad, yeah. Yeah, we chose 3 stories. The first one is about Fernando. He's 11 years old. The problem he had is about migration because he went from the countryside to the city, and he had to start working at 8 years old, being a voceador of a little bus. A voceador is a job that is like, it announces the places where the little bus goes. And by doing this, he gained like $2 a day, and now is like a pillar to his family. And it's one of the hundreds like kids that are involved on being forced, not forced, but have to work to help their family. And then we have Micaela, a 9-year-old girl, who got kicked out of her house because she didn't help to do to cook, to help sell the food. And she was without shoes. She called the foundation for help, and because the foundation doesn't have like a real stable relationship with the government, it's really hard to get really involved in their like lifestyle in their houses. And yeah, at least at the end she got back. And Mariluz is a girl who has 6 years, and this story is really strong. Okay. The thing is that she pretended to be at school. She liked to learn by a garbage place where they put a lot of garbage. And at home, his dad had a tumor at the stomach. She didn't know it, and she liked to lean it like at her stomach, and she thought it was normal, like to see how it grows. But then she noticed that it was really painful for him, like to lean at the stomachs, and at the end they wanted to get money to know what he had and for treatment. But at the end they said like they already knew what he had, so why would they spend that money that would be helpful for their kids and for school and food? So at the end, the father passed out, and she couldn't be able to go to school till now. She's trying to help at home, and it's really sad because she really liked to be at school and learn.
So in conclusion, we're coming from a developing country, and what we want to do is help our people succeed in life. And it's not that it's not a choice they have not to be the best they can be. They just don't know how to. And what we're trying to do is not do everything, but teach them how to achieve their goals. And we don't only want to help kids, we also want to help parents, because they don't know how to, they don't know what parenthood is like. And it's a basic need to know how to teach them. And if they don't know how to teach their children, then the children won't learn. And most of these children, since their experience in school isn't great, they don't like going there. And what we're trying to do is encourage them to finish school and give them the resources to be able to do that. So now we have an activity plan, and we want to okay, so if you can divide yourselves into 7. Wait, that table, or 7. So, we're going to be giving you cards, and
Someone else can go to that table, please.
Subjects.
Thank you.
the cards we'll be giving you have a role on them. And what we want you to do is you'll have about 15 minutes to look at your own role, and as a community, decide what it is you're going to do based on what we taught you to solve poverty where you are at. And you make your own decisions, and after time's done, each group will come up and present what their strategies were.
Please take a picture.
You're the president?
I'm not laughing about the situation. I swear to God, I'm not. I swear to God, I'm not.
What are you? You're a poor kid? I'm gonna help you.
So now you can get together.
What are you guys?
And you have 15 minutes to decide.
Wealthy student, unemployed.
If you have any questions, ask please, okay?
So, what do we? Yeah, can we get?
Okay, so
Can you give us all a little? You guys join, make a group, okay? Not a group of 3, but a group of 7. Yeah.
Yes.
So can you explain it again? 'Cause I don't know. If we-
Okay, so each of you, sorry, almost. Okay, so each of you guys have a role, as it says in your paper, and you have to come up as a solution. For example, what's your name? Sorry.
Shelly.
Okay, Shelly, you're a GIN student. So what are you gonna do as a GIN student to help solve poverty? What are you gonna do as a poor kid to help solve poverty? What like each of you guys have a role, and you have like to come up with a solution as a group. So each of you guys, what are you gonna do to help solve poverty? Yeah, all good.
Now we're share. Okay, I'll share first. As a wealthy adult.
No, you'll talk between you guys, and then again we all share.
Well, yeah, but you can go first. You can talk
Okay,
about
as a wealthy adult, if I have enough wealth, I'll create more jobs for people with decent, you know,
Minimum wage.
minimum wage.
No, I'm not being sarcastic. I'm really saying
Well, come on, Mayor.
make your political decision.
So, I mean, as a mayor, I think I would like more like, I'll try to help my city with like making like foundations and organizations that help them. Also like education is like the basic problem of everyone. So if we educate the people and help others, then we can succeed as a country.
I'm unemployed, I can get my kids to school or have a successful life. I'm a president that is great foundation the kids that don't have like the opportunity. And also I would give like I would go to the foundation and food and solutions that they can. Student, establish a club, poverty, and give the nation
I'm a Gen student. I would probably start with like researching some things that have helped people in poverty before, and then I guess like start some sort of foundation or some sort of club that actually helps and go and help, and then try and get the word out and educate more people on the problem, because that's what I think happens a lot, is that there's not education. Like there's like a core group of people, but then it isn't spread throughout the school or whatever.
As a poor kid, I guess what I would do is, since I have an incentive to end poverty, and I guess I know what it's like to be poor, and I would try to get as much education as possible to later on in my future try to create an organization to end poverty, since I would have known what it was like to be poor, and I wouldn't want anyone else to suffer.
Okay, so you guys are ready? Okay. And how are you all gonna put like your ideas together to come up with like a structure, like a legit, yeah.
Like
That's mostly teaching.
And but like how are you gonna promote education, or how are you gonna like establish basic?
I think for the most part we mentioned that we want to create clubs and organizations to spread the word.
So you
am I wrong?
no. So you'd all come together to like create a club.
Yeah.
With different perspectives. I can provide the money. Actually, the president can provide the money. Hey, Brad.
And how would you like facilitate it? Like being, I don't know, like a wealthy adult, how would you help the poor kid?
Poor kid tells me what he needs, then I do not immediately provide what he needs, but I consult with my people. And we're like, hey, what is the most vital? Because some wealthy people, they get like double check or something. So it'd be like, what's vital? Education is key to a lot of stuff. So how can we mediate that? Work and study, like a lot of people do.
Like how do you know what it is a poor kid knows? Because if he's poor, he doesn't know because he was born like that.
So of course we ask, what do you think?
And I tell them
On basis
what
of that.
life is like as a poor kid, and the lack of basic needs that I have, how they can do to help me.
Then as an adult, because he's a kid, and we make rational decisions about this poor kid's future.
And let's just say the kid is born in poverty. Like, that's all he knows. So he doesn't know that some people like us, we get 3 meals a day. He knows that he gets a meal a day. Or he just gets like bread, or like, I don't know, how would you help him then?
Definitely, as a wealthy adult, I would provide, would extend my wealth towards that kid, at least
Or not just towards the kid, but towards the
towards
community
the
that the kid.
community that the kid lives.
Maybe
Provide for the greater
provide
being.
one more meal a day. than what they
We'll make
already
their
have.
lives better.
Boom, poverty solved, we're done.
So yeah, just be ready to present that.
Wait,
What are we presenting?
The solution you came up with.
Oh, I think we should probably talk about it.
yeah, we should talk about
Okay,
that.
cool.
That's an issue.
So, we talked about creating organizations, spreading the word, the wealthy, educating, and then the other way around, the poor people educating the wealthy people
On
we're
what?
facing, on what we're facing, so that you know what to
That makes
fix.
sense.
And then you can discuss with your peeps, the president with his peeps, and we all good.
We all good.
We all good.
Okay.
And they can make an educated decision on what they can do to help us, to help me and my family.
So basically, we're GIS, which has researched effective,
And I'm spreading the word.
exactly, it's spreading the word and effective outcomes and solutions towards ending poverty. We shall use her as the resource to, hey, what solution is more convenient for us? Because remember, we're wealthy adults. That doesn't mean that we are not maybe cheap adults. So we're going to find the best solution for everybody towards creating an organization that might improve the lives of this poor kid.
And would you help the unemployed father or just the kid?
No. The father, at least me as a wealthy adult, I wouldn't like the kid to work. I know I gave my kids the privilege of not working, so I definitely help the father as, to get a job. Don't give him food, give him a job. A job is more sustainable than just food every day. They're not gonna learn how to do anything.
And she can create this great eco factory or eco organization that you get paid to work for. And
You
can
make
work.
the makeup brushes.
And what
And the
if,
requirements aren't as depth as maybe he's not as educated, but he can still work in the. That would have to be another discussion, but it can
but
work.
like, what if, since he was a poor kid, he didn't get educated, or he can't have a job because he doesn't know how to.
There is simple.
So that's just like,
There you go, Mayor. Come on, Mayor. Come on, Mayor. Come on.
and how?
Everybody knows how to do something.
He can be a janitor.
You know, everybody has some sort of skill.
Custodian. He can be a
and some
custodian.
sort
There we
of,
go,
like-
GIN student.
Yeah. Everybody has something to give, so you have to find the talent of what the unemployed father
And
has to give.
maybe the wealthy adult can also create an organization that's based on that's based on promoting safe sex. So what he did doesn't have to get.
True. But why doesn't the president do that? Why does the wealthy adult have to do everything?
I'm sorry, the president can help you. He can give you sponsors.
Because a wealthy adult can do something, can change a lot of kids' lives. However, a president can change a whole country's lives. Thank you. Vote for me 2034.
I think he can just give you sponsors, and then he can also put
The government?
in his
They're talking about you tonight.
in his talk, he can be
Just making
like,
sure you're aware.
this organization is great. Please do what it wants you to do.
And what would the wealthy students do there?
Ask the wealthy students.
Wealthy
I
students.
would establish a club in my school.
And then how would you work with
I'm your
the
mom, remember?
poor kids?
Huh?
How would you get help from the mayor, the wealthy adult, and what would you do when
I
you
would
have
tell the
contact
wealthy
with the
adult.
poor kids?
I would tell the wealthy adult.
You would what?
Tell the wealthy adult.
Oh, so you're gonna tell me, Mom!
Yeah.
Give me
You
money.
guys don't have to be related. What if you're not related?
So we both have pink slips and we're wealthy, so.
Oh, so
I
you guys
just-
have clean slips related.
Okay, never
then
mind.
me and the unemployed father, we're related too then.
Was this intentional?
What?
Was this intentional?
Are we related? Does this mean we're
No.
related? Oh, okay.
No.
That would have been really funny.
It does.
That would have been really funny though. Okay.
It means that the GIN student is going to be the next president.
There you go. That's good. That's a good thing.
Mayor is forever alone.
We can create like some like background stuff.
And then what type of organization would you come up with, you said? Like,
Guild Against Poverty too.
what would you do against being guilty against poverty?
Sweet.
Yeah, I want to listen to that.
I think we can establish different perspectives. One of them, hey, me as a wealthy adult, I believe that you can get an education and still work. You know, you can balance that out. Hey, and still get a meal. That's one section. Another section, talent searching. Is that what you know, find out what you're good at, and let's apply it to the workplace. Then you actually love what you do, and then you will never have to work a day in your life. Third, poor kid. Let's
Very
teach
important.
kids about not being poor. Education
Wow.
is key. What? Expand. Teach kids about not being poor. Doing skills that
We're all here.
Don't be poor. Bad poor.
like the way I was.
And I can educate the wealthy people as well to tell them what I need
Poor kid work.
and what I you can do to help me. Just like one more meal a day would be great. Thank you, wealthy adult. You're insane.
But yeah, it'd be 3 different aspects in the whole organization.
And I would show my gratitude as well
Yes.
by writing thank you letters.
When he's 18 and we show him at a fundraiser dinner, it'd be like, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. You'd be like, that was the kid who was poor and didn't know how to write? What?
That'd be so intense.
Okay.
We have a minute.
Lit percent.
So this group is ready, so you guys can go first.
No.
We
don't exactly know what to say.
And we don't like to talk.
Okay, we know what we're gonna say. We know what we're gonna say. Okay. You say it.
Say what?
Okay.
Gap two.
Yeah. Okay, we're gonna
Oh, wait,
present.
no, they're there anyway.
Ah, perfect.
Oh,
We have set up.
perfect. Is there like a time limit? Sometimes we could like just cast the bell. What? We're totally serious about this. I believe in this. I can't believe it.
I'm actually not getting very good attention.
Okay, guys, now, I'm sorry, time's up. We're going to have each of you guys group present to us what your ideas are. So here's the first one.
Okay, so GIN student sees that there's a big problem with unemployment and underprivileged kids. He decides that he wants to form, an organization where we can actually help these people develop skills, the unemployed father, develop skills in order to help him pay for his child's education, but at the same time we want to educate them as well and make sure that their priority needs are met. But the most important thing is we want to make sure that he is able to provide for his family. So he decides to start this club and he tells his friend, the wealthy student, about it. And he gets interested. And he has a lot of connections, mostly his wealthy father, who then says, this is a great idea, I think this is wonderful, and I think we should really help out. So they begin to help, but they realize they need more. They want this to be more than just this little group. They want it to be the entire community. So they go and talk to their mayor, who says this is amazing. And he also begins to help out. And when the mayor, and when the mayor is helping out, she also decides, I think this shouldn't be just about our community. It should be about our country. And I think it's time that we sit down and talk with the president. And they actually find a way to communicate with the president who decides to make this more of a national thing. And all communities have these little groups that are helping people out to find different ways to stop unemployment or to have people be self-employed so that they are able to provide for their children who now will have an opportunity to get an education.
And
That was great. That was really great.
Second group.
yeah, let's stop here. You have 2 minutes to present your.
It's inevitable. People think
Okay, you have 2 minutes.
All right, what we first decided to do was to figure out what the needs were for the different roles. Some of them had specific needs, along with education and concerns, and then we also looked at some of the roles of what resources do we have, or what skills or what jobs can we do to help facilitate getting education for a better education for all. And so what we did was, we went through and what books are
Wealthy student.
going and talking about, she feels like she had a good education, so going out and saying the importance of having a good education and how that benefits the community and how it benefits their area on a larger scale, and then
The mayor.
so getting the mayor involved. I was the GIN student, so I saw my role as going out in the community, seeing what the need was, going back and trying to find the resources that were needed that fit that need, and being kind of the communicator, or what we call in the States the middleman in between, and making sure that there was communication between the roles. And then the wealthy adults, again, being a resource to help. And then, I don't know if you guys want to just share.
Okay, so as a wealthy adult, I would like to donate money and time to charities. I'm going to start my own charity. And help support children in education, offer jobs or internships to the unemployed people.
I'm working, and I want education at home, basic necessities. So what I would do is I would ask wealthy adult students, present and mayor, to fund to help raise funds for other people who are just like me, and also to help me myself. And
with I'm the president, and with this big issue that we have in the country, we have decided to join forces to lower the rate of undereducated people. So we will have a master plan, but first of all, analyzing all the country situation, the economical and the means of help from other countries, or the means of having, the internal production raised to have more resources, and also get, the support from the wealthy adults, the industries, the GIN, support on advisory, and having all the majors involved in their districts, and education for the schools.
I'm an unemployed father. What I need is a job, basically, and I need money for my kid to school and this school, so I could go to what the adults would make. You will give me a job, and you would offer a job to unemployed. Try that out and see how it goes.
Thank you.
I'll start off by just saying, you guys are going to say the rest of it. I'm a GIN student, and I decided to say that I would probably educate everybody and about the problems of poverty.
I'm the wealthy adult, and by my wealthy son, I heard about their GIN person talking about fixing poverty, and I thought I need to do something selfless. So I contacted my friend.
So as I heard of my friend, I want to make this big and I want to help those because I need books so I can get to Bolivia of the country.
Okay, well, as a foreign kid, what I would do is that I would not only them educate me, but I would also educate them on what it's like to be a poor kid and all the basic needs that are lacking in my community. And so I would help them realize what the main issue is for being a poor kid, so they know what to target when they're trying to help.
As a wealthy student, I become a part of GIN, and I inform my father about the issue so he can help through his contacts and money.
And me as a president, I would get sponsors and money to make it like in all the country and help the organizations and foundation of all the country to give money and food and shelter.
As an adequate father, I would use the help of the wealthy people to get a job.
You make sure your kid went to school. I was like, thank you. Because believe me, we would have stayed there.
Thank you guys just for all really good and realistic solutions you came up with. So yeah, if you